Hello, my friends. I wanted to talk to you today about how to write a winning offer when you are in a competitive situation, when you have a property that is super popular and lots of offers are coming in. How would you handle that as a buyer's agent? How would you handle that as a listing agent? So I am going to share my screen and basically show you different scenarios. Actually, I wanted to show you this house because this house was a house that we recently put on the market, and it was a very popular property. It had lots of offers and lots of lookers, and it basically was people just wanted it. More than one person wanted it. So it just gave me the idea that I need to share the tips and tricks of how we went about to sell this property. So we put the property on the market for about 399, so roughly about 400,000. And the comps were somewhere between 400 to 430,000. That's where the comps were around. So we figured, okay, if we're putting it at 399, we are going to have multiple offers. We kind of already anticipated that we would have multiple offers happening on this, but we just didn't know how popular the property was going to be. So then property went on the market. We immediately had a lot of interest, and we immediately had lots of offers. So I'm going to tell you how I thought that we needed to answer on the listing agent side, and how the other buyers came in, and how they grabbed my attention, my team's attention, to make sure that they are getting their offers accepted. So I'm going to actually show you this part as far as do's and don'ts of how to deal with a situation like that. So if you are the listing agent, you want to make sure that your first of all, you want to counter every offer. You want to give opportunity to every buyer that's out there, and that happens when you're generating a counter for every buyer. Okay, and then you want to make sure that if the prices are going up, that you don't have an appraisal in that counter, because you don't know how an appraiser is going to receive if your offers go 50, 60, $70,000 above ask. What if an appraiser doesn't like that? So you got to account for that. So if you have to have a appraisal contingency, make sure you shorten that, or maybe put in there that the buyer is going to pay 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, whatever the amount is that you can negotiate above the appraised value, so that you don't lose money for your seller. Let's see. You want to make sure that you hook the buyer in with things like pay for an inspection, pay for an appraisal, because the more money that the buyer invests in the property, the more likely they are to close. And when you're trying to counter, you want to make sure that you shorten the amount of time that you give to the buyers. The California contract usually gives you 3 days. In this case, I would shorten that to 24 hours. Let's see. And then in the case of our client, he wanted to have a couple of days of rent back. So I suggest that you include the rent back along with your counter, because any negotiation that you can do upfront, the better you are, and you're in the driver's seat in that case. Now, if you're a buyer's agent, first of all, you want to make sure you write a clean offer. You want to make sure that on your when you're sending the offer via your email, that your email has basically a very short list of all the pointers about your offer, so that the listing agent can quickly scan and see what they're looking for and whether or not the buyer, the offer gives them all those things. And these are all the other pointers that that you want to make sure to have within your behavior and your offer. You don't want to have a short expiration date on your offer, because that just doesn't make any sense. You know, if you're not the only buyer, or if you're not the only offer, then the seller doesn't care. So why try to be pushy? Okay, and then the other thing, you want to make sure that you read the listing agent. What is their preferred method of communication? If they prefer you to text, then you don't want to keep calling. You know, things like that. You want to make sure that you're respectful of the other side, so that they favor you. And texting is the best method in a situation like that, because the listing agent is probably going to be bombarded by many people. So if you're texting, you're more likely to get attention. And of course, highest price is a winner. And escalation clauses. I personally don't favor escalation clauses, because you know, when you're dealing with a situation like this, it's like playing poker. Who wants to show their hand to the other side? And you don't want to force the other side to show their hand. They're not going to like that in a situation where they have the upper hand. If they have a house that's very popular, they're not going to want to play the escalation clause. So don't even go there. That's my opinion, of course. Let's see. And then as far as seller's timeline, the likelihood to close, writing a personal letter, acknowledging and knowing the agent, all of these are pointers that that help to get an offer accepted. But the most important thing, in my opinion, is you want to show the seller and the listing agent that your buyer loves the home. The love of the home goes a long way in a multiple offer situation to make sure that your offer gets accepted. And of course, be likable. You know, being likable in a situation like that goes a long way. The listing agent and the seller, they may have 12 or 15 people that they're dealing with. If you come out and be likable, then you're going to stand out amongst the crowd. And that's what you want to do. So that's my 2 cents for writing a successful offer. I hope this is helpful, and I hope that I help you get your offer accepted the next time. Thank you so much for joining me, and you guys have a wonderful day.